let's move into Star Wars Celebration. So we got an Ahsoka trailer. We got some Star Wars movie news. I'm gonna start with the movies.
Mhm.
Let's just go to you. What do you think about this movie news? What do you think?
Okay, there were three, right? Three movies.
Correct.
Yeah, Dawn of the Jedi, sequel trilogy movie, and Mandalorian movie. Whoops, I threw something. So yeah, I'll start with Dawn of the Jedi. I don't know how to feel about Dawn of the Jedi. I feel like this is another excuse to skip Old Republic, which I don't like. Go to Old Republic already. Also, Dawn of the Jedi from Legends books. I hated the Dawn of the Jedi there, anyways. So I just hate that whole era in general.
Yeah, so James Mangold is directing this, directing obviously the new Indiana Jones installment.
Yeah, did Logan
Uh
good?
and Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah, no Swamp Thing. You confirmed that today too.
Swamp Thing. This will probably be the latest movie we see out of the bunch. It kind of confirms that Rogue Squadron and Taika's films aren't happening.
Yeah,
It's so funny to me.
where did Taika's film go? He says that he was
It
like 4 months ago.
Yeah, it is so funny to me that they go on stage. And again, it's you're obviously going to be excited being at Star Wars Celebration. I would be too. But it's kind of funny that they go on stage, they just announce these movies and I can't even get excited. Like today I was like, "Oh, yay." And I'm like, "Oh my god." There's like literally 3 years ago they announced two films and they haven't come out. And they're not
No,
going
I
to
was
come
like,
out.
I woke up and I read the news. I was just like, oh, let's see if this has a chance of happening.
And it's just like, "Oh, they won't say anything either about it," which is just crazy. It just we'll be happy about this until they don't happen, and then we'll complain. But yeah, I'm excited for Dawn of the Jedi. It's not my most anticipated, but it's I'll say it's not my least anticipated either. It's gonna be really interesting. 25,000 years before anything we've gotten described as a biblical age type story. I'm really excited to see the dawn of the Jedi Order, what's going on there, set way before even the events of the Old Republic. I'm really excited to see the Force, how it's used. And it seems like Star Wars kind of has a plan for what they're going to do with this Dawn of the Jedi. They unveiled all the errors, kind of, or some
Oh
of the
my
errors.
gosh, so cool! I love see like I said, I'm a big Old Republic person. I saw the Old Republic logo. It's like yes, they're acknowledging it. Let's go.
Yeah, so it should be really, really interesting. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see the Jedi Order being formed. I think
I
that
hope
story is going to be
we see-
really interesting.
yeah, I hope we see the like the kind of like the lightsaber, the like lightsaber packs where they wear like a big backpack. That's what they use in Legends, and then like the lightsaber is just like a giant battery. I hope we see that in live action. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool as well. And we kind of see, oh, I can't remember. It's the Prime Jedi. It's the logo they use is of the Prime Jedi that we see on Octo.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
which is really interesting to me. So I'm really interested to see what the original teachings of the Jedi were, and I think we'll actually see who the Prime Jedi was, and we'll probably see Octo. I think that
Yeah.
would be really cool as well. So building all those connections, I think, would be
That was
really
the
cool.
that was the birthplace of the Jedi, right? Is that what they said in that movie? That was the
I think
birthplace.
it's the first temple or something like that. I think something like that. Yeah. Um. Yeah, it'd be really cool to see the Prime Jedi and what they originally taught, because I think what they originally taught was more like, be more balanced. It wasn't just being about on the light side. So I
Mhm.
think I'm just really interested to see their teachings and what the
Yeah.
original mythos around it was. All right, let's now move into what do they call this post sequel trilogy movie?
Uh,
New
yeah, the new. So I just like to call it Ray Jedi Academy. It's Ray Jedi Academy.
um, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Ray personally as a character. I don't find her interesting. She's like my least favorite protagonist out of all three trilogies. Would I mind seeing her again? No, I like Daisy Ridley as an actress, and I mean, I don't know what she was doing in those films because half the time she couldn't act in those films. I don't know why, but like, I'm, just, I'd like to see a trailer or a script before I see anything.
Yeah, I agree. This is gonna be the 2025 film. Um, I'm not excited. um, it's very odd to me that your first choice after the sequel trilogy is to go back to these characters. Now, again, I'm not
Yeah,
saying she's going to be the main protagonist. And I don't think that's the way they're going. I think she's going to be in the film.
Mm-hmm.
But no, just no. Again, I don't want to go down the well of like it should have been Luke to rebuild the Jedi Order. That's already happened and it failed. So like whatever. But my thing is to have the first movie coming back being about the same character. No. That's not how it should be. You have to remember, it took them from 83 to 2015 to get Luke to come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It took from 05 to 22 to get Anakin and Obi-Wan back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there needs to be a little time.
No, it's only been it'll only be what, 6 years?
6 years.
Yeah, that is like not a lot of time.
That's not a lot of time compared to the other two, and I feel like it's a little tone deaf to me. And again, a lot of fans love these films. A lot more fans like them than dislike them. I don't totally hate them. I'm not a huge fan of them. It's just a little disappointing to me as a fan when you preach about, trying to, get in touch on all these different eras. And I'm getting spoiled right now with The Mandalorian, and I really love that time period and that sort of thing. But it's kind of weird on the movie side that you're just focusing on this one era. Now, they're going to focus on other areas with Filoni and Mangold's film, but it's just very odd to me that, they're going to go this route with Daisy and this new Jedi Academy. But my theory on this is that I really hope that they're not called the Jedi anymore. I really hope they're called the Skywalkers. I think that would be interesting. But what do you want to see from this film?
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to see the Jedi Order be kind of rebuilt again. I've seen that like 3 times. I've seen that happen. What's it called? Well, I mean, I guess it's not officially canon. Like that happened in Old Republic. That happened. The Jedi fell in in the Clone Wars times. The Jedi fell again during the First Order. It's like the 4th time I'm going to see the Jedi Order fall. It's like, okay, when does it stop for y'all take like a moment and pause and be like, hold up, guys, maybe this isn't working.
I think that it needs to be totally reinvented.
Yeah, kind of like what Kyler was saying, where it's like let the past die.
Right.
Like you just need to reinvent the whole thing.
Now I'm excited to see how powerful Rey's gone. I'm sure she's gonna be very powerful.
It's a 15-year time jump, which once again, like you said so soon, like if it's a 15-year time jump, why y'all waiting 6 years? I don't think Daisy Ridley aged 15 years in 6 years.
No, I do not think so at all.
So I don't know why 15-year jump.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see where they go with it. I'm excited to see how powerful she is. I hope she's not the main protagonist, but also bring back my boy John Boyega, Finn. I want to see how powerful he's gotten in 15 years. Hey, Disney, give him the bag, man. He'll come.
I think he's if the Lego Star Wars holiday specials anything to go off of, he was technically training in that. So hopefully they'll be like, they'll allude to that being a thing because he was training in that. And he'll be a Jedi because, 15 years, he'd be like, at least knight status by that point. Like,
right.
Old stuff.
Finn's always been my favorite character in the sequel trilogy, and I feel like he got jobbed, especially in Episode 8 and definitely Episode 9.
Yeah. If he'll come back, though, it's an interesting thing.
I think if he comes back, it would be really cool because I think Boyega is fantastic in that role, and I think Boyega is fantastic as it is, and I really love his performance in Episode 7, and we just never got anything built upon that. But yeah, let's talk about the last one and the one I am most excited for. Dave Filoni going to direct a Star Wars movie. I was so happy. I've been on the Filoni train since really Clone Wars. I'm so happy for him. Really the heir to George Lucas. And speaking of heir to the Empire. It's happening in live action. And they're not calling it that, but I'm pretty confident that's what they're going to call it. Shout out Timothy Zahn. I'm excited. It's going to culminate the events of the Mandoverse. What do you think?
I'm happy, but I'm scared at the same time. Because if they are adapting Heir to the Empire, I got all those books back there. I got the whole Thrawn trilogy. I got the Ascendancy, and I got Heir to the Empire trilogy. So I love that whole storyline. and I hope I do it. I'll touch more onto it when we get to Ahsoka stuff because like they kind of directly involve stuff there and stuff that I've seen just Easter eggs from the books already in that trailer. But like just from this standpoint, if it is Heir to the Empire based, I think it's going to be very different. That's why I'm like kind of scared because it's not going to be Luke, Han, and Leia. But like I'm still just like I mean it's Dave Filoni, so like he has a pretty good track record. It's been a little meh as of recent, but he still has like a great track record. So I trust him to do this, and I'm happy he gets a movie now.
I got a question. What if it still has Luke, Han, and Leia, but also has Ahsoka, Mando, Boba?
I would love that, to be honest, because like Heir to the Empire is like it's still, like, even like written in book form. It's literally episodes 7, 8, 9. Because like it's literally 7, 8, 9 for the next thing. So just like with Luke, Leia, and Han, like just with Mando and Ahsoka, especially to more Luke and Ahsoka content, I would love because like that's just a good dynamic. Mando and Han meeting would also be very cool. You'd obviously since like it's a whole Mandoverse thing. I'm sure Boba Fett will be in it, so Boba and Han reunion. I think a lot of people are hoping for that in Book of Boba Fett, which we unfortunately didn't get, but that's cool. Like I just love like I wonder if they are going to make it kind of like a big Infinity War type of event thing.
I think that would be really cool, and I think it would, especially it would do like a better job of explaining where everybody was at the time the sequel was really doing. Can do like a thing. This is why Han went and gambled. This is why Luke kind of went away. We have these explanations, but I feel like they can add more context to that.
That'd be so funny if Thrawn kind of got everybody said you need to tear apart Leia and Han's relationship. That'd be so bad.
Yeah, I mean it would Thrawn would have a lasting impact then, and Thrawn's that type of villain. Thrawn's really fantastic. But yeah, that's my most anticipated project. Let's move into the Ahsoka trailer, and this will be the final thing we discussed today. What did you think of the trailer?
A lot of tease for Heir to the Empire, which got me excited. That is seeing Thrawn. Thrawn looks from the back of the head. That looks pretty good to me, and that's most definitely Lars Mikkelsen. I know what his ears look like. Those are his ears. I'm not going to be in denial. The Rebels characters look fantastic. The volume looks a little bit iffy. If I'm going to be honest with you, it does look a little bit iffy. I do wish they filmed more kind of like with Andor, more on like they like make sets. Because that's what they did for Andor. Hope they do that more like in the future in the volume. But overall, it just looks real. Like I'm very excited. Once again, scared, but excited.
Now, I want to ask you about these two new Sith characters because through the leaks we've heard a little bit about them, Baylan and Shin. A lot of people are saying, kind of adjacent to Jorah Sabayoth, but it's not going to be Jorah Sabayoth. It's not a clone. Yeah. What do you think about these two characters? What do you want to see from Baylan and Shin?
Yeah, so I have a question too. Is Shin, we see like a Sith, or I guess, depending on what you think about it, a person with the double-bladed lightsaber fighting Ahsoka. Is that Shin or is that an Inquisitor, do you think?
I think that's Shin. I'm pretty confident that's Shin.
Okay, so would she be an Inquisitor then? Because she has like a whole Inquisitor lightsaber with an Inquisitor mask on.
I could see it for sure, yeah.
Because Baylan, like, he looks like a knockoff Jorah Sabayoth. Like, his like whole bearded look. It looks like what I would expect they would do, like if you wanted an adaptation off of Sabayoth. That's what I think he is. Even like when I watched her, I was like, oh, that's Sabayoth. That's what they're going to use as Sabayoth.
So I think I agree with that.
Replacement. She literally looks just like an Inquisitor. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Honestly, maybe she's one of the last surviving Inquisitors, and she went off with Baylan.
There's Inquisitors that we don't know about, like their fates of yet, I think.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. They're obviously allies of Thrawn, which is really interesting. They're not going to be super powerful, but they're going to be powerful enough. I feel like that they're enough of a pester, combined with the force of Grand Admiral Thrawn, who we see the back of his head in the white uniform. I'm like, oh my god, that is terrifying. And he doesn't even turn his face. It's so funny because in animation, his first shot is behind the back when they do the Rebels trailer. So I am super, super excited to see Grand Admiral Thrawn. Everybody else looks great. I thought it looked good, except the lightsabers. I thought the red lightsabers looked horrible.
They looked orange.
Yeah, they looked not, and it's the same problem I had in Kenobi. Like the lightsabers just look weird, and I think it's a thing where they don't touch them up always because they're usually an actual like lighted type of deal, like
Yeah.
lightsabers. They're not like touching them up. I kind of wish they go back to what they did in the prequels where they just had the blade and they just had like the color, but there was actually no light,
Mhm.
LED light, and then they would just go in and add the effects. It actually looked good. Um, yeah, the lightsabers just do not look good. And again, we're still, 4 months out. So they've got time, of course, to work on that. But overall, I really enjoyed the trailer. Ahsoka saying "Heir to the Empire." I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. What up?
Yeah.
Um, so I'm really excited. It looks fantastic. The Ghost Crew I thought looked good. What did you think about seeing the Ghost Crew? And
Yeah, no, Hera.
we're
Keep going.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Chopper looks, he looks one for one. Like, there's no complaint in there. I mean, that's Chopper. Hera looks good. I like the actress. I think her name's Harry Elizabeth Weinstein. I like her as an
Mhm.
actress. So I'm excited to what she's going to do with Hera. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about this for Mando, but like, we saw Zeb too. So like, he also had a good transition. He's on this trailer, but he was in, Mando. So I'm assuming he's going to be in this show. Uh,
Right.
yeah, he looked good. Who else was in the? Oh yeah, the Phantom. The Phantom also looked good. It's just so good. Every Rebels thing looked good. Sabine, I like her new bomber jacket look that she has. Like she was in her armor in the shot. I like the bomber jacket she has. She grew out her hair, so I wonder if her hair is gonna be grown out in this show, or if it's gonna be she's gonna cut it like before they leave. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and we also got like a hologram of Ezra.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
kind of brief, but we did see Ezra Bridger as well.
It looked like
But
he
yeah,
was younger, like it was like a recording of him.
yeah, maybe it was a message he was sending. I don't know. Who knows? Um, but Sabine looked really good. Seeing the one for one of the epilogue of Rebels was really cool. Like with the ships flying over, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And it just looks like they put everything into this. I really feel like this is gonna be the best Mandoverse project. And I'm really excited. The teaser trailer really got me hooked. I'm excited to see, okay, so the saber is orange, not red. It's a red
Yeah.
orange specifically. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just I think it still needs to be touched up. It does not look good in my opinion. And again, it's still early. They haven't done all the VFX yet. So, yeah, but yeah, you got anything else you want to say about the trailer?
Yeah, I'll say this one thing about that because, like I said, I'm like a huge Thor fanboy. I do hope they're not gonna make him a just like straight up just kind of like what we've seen in the Bad Batch with the Doctor and everything. I hope they don't make him like that because while I love that character, Thrawn like at this point at time like the whole reason Thrawn like was exiled and everything and joined the Empire was to find allies to help against I think it's pronounced the Grisks or something like that, which is
Right.
a threat in the Outer Rim. So like I don't know the point of why he'd be fighting for the Empire when the Empire was just a tool for him to take out a larger threat.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm kind of scared of if they're just gonna be like, oh no, Thrawn just wants to bring back the Empire. Well, like the Empire, if the Empire's in shambles now, what's the point of still staying with them and doing all this when that's not your main goal? So I
I
do.
think it's Oh, go ahead, finish.
No, you go ahead.
I think it's a thing where like Thrawn is written differently in books and in animation and live action, it appears like.
Mhm.
The books touch on the Grisk and stuff, but I really don't think they're gonna touch on that at all. I really don't. I think they're probably gonna go the route that he wants to bring the Empire back, or some variation of that. Maybe not that exactly.
Mhm.
I think it's a very fair argument now that Thrawn's been exiled and has been gone for at this point 10 years, and he's kind of power hungry. I think he wants to prove people wrong, and I think he wants to get back at the Ghost Crew and by default the New Republic, who they're all a part of. So I think Thrawn wants to go after the New Republic kind of. In a time of vulnerability, we see Mon Mothma. I assume that they've already at this point um, decommissioned a lot of their military, like they talk about in the uh, sequel trilogy.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of the New Republic military is gone. I can very much see that happening, um, and that being a big driving force as to why Thrawn thinks he can take back the galaxy for himself, because I think maybe at this point, he's a very different Thrawn, and this type of Thrawn is somebody who thinks he can take over the galaxy himself,
Mhm.
which I think would be interesting, but also I understand where you're coming from.